You go to Nigeria, which is, if not the most corrupt nation in Africa, and it is, it could be the most corrupt nation in the world, Minister Farrakhan.
Oh, now, Mr. Wallace.
It is the most corrupt nation that I have ever covered. I've been there 25 years ago, and I've been there as recently as last year.
Fine. So what? 35 years old. That's what that nation is. Now, here's America, 226 years old. You love democracy, but there in Africa, you're trying to force these people into a system of government that you just have accepted. 30 years ago, black folk got the right to vote. You're not in any moral position to tell anybody how corrupt they are. You should be quiet and let those of us who know our people go there and help them get out of that condition. But America should keep her mouth shut wherever there's a corrupt regime, as much hell as America has raised on the earth. No, I will not allow America, or you, Mr. Wallace, to condemn them as the most corrupt nation on earth when you have spilled the blood of human beings. Has Nigeria dropped an atomic bomb and killed people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Have they killed off millions of Native Americans? How dare you put yourself in that position as a moral judge? I think you should keep quiet, because with that much blood on America's hands, you have no right to speak. I will speak because I don't have that blood on my hand. Yes, there's corruption there. Yes, there's mismanagement of resources. Yes, there is abuse. There's abuse in every nation on earth, including this one. So let's not play holy to moralize on them. Let's help them.
I'm not moralizing. I'm asking a question, and I got an answer.
Why would you put it as the most corrupt regime in the world? That doesn't make sense.
Can you think of one more corrupt?
Yeah, I'm living in one. I'm living in one. Yes, you've done a hell of a thing on this earth, so you should not be the one to talk. You should be quiet when it comes to moral condemnation, in my judgment. I didn't mean to be so fiery.
No.
Took us a while to get you, but go ahead. I know you'll be brief.
I'm a white American born into poverty, and I overcame it. You know, the opportunities are here in America, and why can't we just start now? We hear all this violence. Why can't we just talk in a positive way and go forward instead of remembering all these things that are in the past that are negative? They were not good for blacks, not good for whites.
Yes, Minister Farrakhan commenting.
According to the State of Black America by the Urban League, if we started right now, they said, we could never close the gap to black poverty and white poverty. She said, let us start right now. Let's forget the past. Notice this. When Jewish people remember the Holocaust and want the world to remember the Holocaust. Wait. Why do you want the world to remember? Because if the world does not remember, it is likely to repeat itself. And Jewish persons who suffered from the Holocaust want the world to remember this because the world turned its back while Jews were put in ovens. I, as a black person, want my people to remember what we have suffered and what we continue to suffer, so that we will say like the Jews, never again. Never again.
Okay, I've been listening in this corner right here, and I've heard a whole lot of negative things from the white people here. When you are trying to explain yourself, the white people don't want to hear you explain yourself. They drown you out. They start already trying to drown you out and talk over you. There's a certain amount of white arrogance here, and they don't want to listen to what black people are saying. They don't understand because they don't want to understand. I've heard a woman here say, go back to Africa. Somebody said, we have a black holiday. What does that mean? So what does that mean? He did not say that. He said, if we have a choice, what some of us can go and some of us can stay. But there's no understanding in here. People are just trying to talk.
To those arrogant persons, you know, when you tell us go back, please remember where you came from. And when you want want to relegate somebody to a specific place, just remember what your origin is in this world. Please, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I want you to understand that you, wherever you are on the earth, you're not a native anywhere. You came there and took it from the native people who are there. So please don't talk about going back, because if others talk to you about that, where would you go? The young lady said she's afraid of violence. And isn't it sad that we who have been the victims of so much violence, now whites fear violence from us? We do not have a history of killing white people. White people have a history of killing us. See? And what you fear, may I say this, sir? What you fear, and it's a deep guilt thing, that white folks suffer. You are afraid that if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us. And I think you are judging us by the state of your own mind, and that is not necessarily the mind of black people.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
And by repudiating Farrakhan, do you solve the problems of America? Is Farrakhan the one guilty of polarizing the races? Is Farrakhan the one guilty of sowing the seeds of hatred and bigotry in the Senate and in the Congress, the germs of which is the Constitution, and the Constitution justified slavery? Did Farrakhan have anything to do with that? That's your hatred, America. That's your bigotry, America. But you want to put my condemnation of your wickedness on me. But the people see today.
But it would seem from the comments that have been attributed to you that the hatred is there, that it is directed towards Jews, and that it is very divisive. Reverend Jackson started out with wanting to have a rainbow coalition, and many people have suggested that because of some of the comments that you have made, it hurt his rainbow coalition, and therefore it never came to be.
Oh, Miss Freeman, Miss Freeman. Here again the victim is being charged with the crime. Jesse Jackson wanted to build a rainbow coalition. Jesse Jackson had the ability, and still does have the ability, to build that rainbow. There are powers in this country that don't want blacks and Mexicans and Chicanos and or Native Americans and Hispanics and Arabs and whites who are poor and locked out to come together. Jesse Jackson in New Hampshire was getting 18% of the Democratic vote according to pollsters, though there's less than 1% black in that state. When the Jaime remark was made known, and Reverend Jackson hedged on it and then confessed that he said it and apologized, his standing in the polls dropped from 18% to 8%, then to 6%. The Rainbow Coalition was being built. I had spoken in front of Reverend Jackson on several occasions. There were many reporters there. None could say that Farrakhan used any racially inflammatory language, but those in the press saw this black Muslim close to Reverend Jackson, and it was the press who brought up the language of the Nation of Islam from the time of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and threw that out to kill the budding Rainbow Coalition. Then they want to put the blame on Farrakhan. That's a shame. But that's the way the wicked do. They always throw the stone, hide their hand, then blame the victim. We live this every day. Kill a black man and say he had the knife. He's the one that attacked me.
I saw an article that referenced that the FBI, the CIA, and every other government agency of authority should have Louis Farrakhan investigated and arrested because he called for 10,000 people, 10,000 men to come forth to kill white people.
Well, I've been investigated by the FBI. They can go to hell. The CIA right along with them. I don't fear that. If I were like the rest of the Negroes that fear the FBI, the CIA, the IRS, then I would be like them, scratching where I don't itch, bending when I don't have to. No, God is present today. They need to be afraid. I'm talking to the CIA, the FBI, the IRS, the U.S. government. You need to be afraid today because the God of justice is present now. That's why he said, vengeance is mine. The battle is not yours. The battle is the Lord's, and God has come. The battle is on, and the plagues are coming down on America. No, I'm not afraid, but you need to be, and especially when you see what's coming up, because as a man soweth, the same shall he also reap. And when you have done the evil that you've done to us and done it to others, did you never think that there would come a day when you would have to pay for all that crap that you have done? Thomas Jefferson said it right, brother. He said, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just and that his justice cannot sleep forever.